it in.
It seems ridiculous, but let's lock it in.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do this one by one. Okay.
Yeah.
So first, you've picked Santa Claus.
Yes.
You are correct. Yeah. Santa Claus is only $20.
Very good. Ooh. Very good.
So that's one out of 5. All right. Next up, your second pick was Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong is also correct at $300. Yes. You're 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah. Nice one.
So you picked third, Chris Angel.
Okay.
Let's see what the scoreboard says. You are incorrect. Chris Angel is $999.
Wow.
Next up, your number 4 was Snoop Dogg. Mm-hmm. You were incorrect on that one. He was the third most expensive with $750.
Yeah.
And Marcus, you were speaking the truth. You were 100% right. Kyle Sanderlands at $1,000 is the most expensive on Cameo out of these 5. You did pretty good. 3 out of 5 is pretty good.
He was so up himself. I knew he would be out that low.
I've got to say, Marcus, that was a good point about Snoop being he's probably the biggest star out of all of them, but he does sort of get around a whole lot. And it sort of makes sense because, I guess if he works a lot, he can charge a little bit less because he's making more money overall. Whereas Kyle, I feel like Kyle just really does have tickets on himself. He really does have tickets on himself.
I feel like Kyle's the kind of person, and he's the kind of person that would be like, I can't be fucked doing these cameos. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make some bank over it. And I'm sure that nobody, I don't know, Dame, you can tell me how many transactions he's done, but fuck, $1,000, I wouldn't pay for that.
No.
He has done none so far, so it's definitely, nobody thinks it's worth the price.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for playing Lights Camera Transaction. You've been beautiful. I've been Hollywood. Say hi to Kyle Sanderlands for me if you can afford it.
Perfect.
Great game, Damien. Great game. I also love the $S. It's very, it's like Kesha.
Kesha.
I like that in the transaction. Yeah, very nice.
I checked. She is not on Cameo.
No, she's not. That's all right. That's fine. Well, let's dial it back to the question then. What do we want to say for this person's dilemma?
I think all you can do is just say to your partner that the present still means a lot to you, because it does. He's your favorite character. Your boyfriend really did everything right. It was just the execution, which was out of his hands, that fell short. So you can't really, there's not much you can do about that.
I feel like you hit the nail on the head. It's the thought that counts with all presents, okay? Now, he spent $275, whatever it is. If this Slytherin person or Draco actually did all right by the cameo, it would have been a perfect gift. Something that was out of his hands. Yeah, all right, whatever. So I feel like just say, look, I know it wasn't what we expected, but that being said, I still appreciate you went to this level. I wasn't expecting a cameo from Draco Malfoy. Turns out it was shit, just like the character. So who cares? It's all right by me. I think that's the way to go.
I'm in agreement with that. I think that's fair enough. Let's leave it there then for skydiving. Can I go next with this one, boys?
You can.
Yes.
Okay, this one's going to come from 23 presents for my 23rd birthday.
Wow.
So I got that would be my wife. So she went away in the lead up to my birthday. She went over to New York, and for the 23 days leading up to my birthday, I had 23 presents each day. Some were big, some were small, but it was still a very thoughtful, great idea, and I think that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, nice.
That's goddamn romantic. Your wife's a bit of a goddamn romantic. I love it.
Goddamn. All right, this is going to come from 23 Gifts. So 23 Gifts writes in, I can't stand these team bonding exercises and events we do at work. They're so cringe. I fucking hate them with a passion. Help. Okay. I sincerely, utterly cannot stand my work colleagues. Most of them are assholes. They make us do these things every other Friday, and that means instead of being allowed to go home on time at 6 p.m., we have to stay there with each other for 2 more extra hours, which is mega cringe and super stressful because these are the people I yearn to get the fuck away from so I can enjoy my Friday evening with people who do matter to me in my life, such as my wife and 2 kids. Instead, the asshole company manager seems to think it's fun to do stupid water balloon fights outside with those super soaker water guns and firing them at female coworkers who in turn scream as if they're being attacked by him or something. It's super cringe. I kid you not. We get free pizza and beers on Fridays too, but they take that out of our paycheck at the end of the month, which fucks me off a lot, big time. I do not want to participate in this bullshit culture and did not agree to my salary being played around with so that a bunch of cringy fuckers could get these annoying as hell Friday nights. Should I address this to my employer or find myself a new job? 23 gifts.
This question is funny because it's kind of hard to side with the question asker because of the language they're using. Like, it's so aggressive and so full on. And it's like, well, surely that your workplace is entirely not the problem. I mean, it might be, but like, it's hard to kind of like be sympathetic when they're so like amped in their question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I could get pretty amped if this was me. Like, can you imagine working for a place for like, let's say 2 years, and every Friday night, like the first, like, let's say the first year, every Friday night, you play these games. You're like, yeah, it's all right, not bad. But then after that, you're like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm still forced to. I'm still paying for it. Like, I feel like I would get pretty amped and saying, this is fucking annoying. I hate it. And I reckon I would get this amped if it was like, if it was just like a month or two in, wouldn't get this amped. A year or two in, yes, I would get amped.
I feel like the boss here is turning like this Friday night stuff into like Friday night games from Big Brother when they used to have like sort of challenges and stuff like that. It's almost like he was a massive Big Brother fan in the early 2000s. He's just like, you know what's the best? Friday night games from Big Brother. Let's make it a thing at my workplace and have water balloon fights.
Also, what is with the whole Girls Gone Wild aspect of him like blasting women with like water like super soakers or something? What's going on there?
Yeah.
That can't be like HR approved. Surely
That's
not.
Surely not. Maybe there's no HR at this company.
Maybe HR is like in on it too. HR is just like, you know what? It's like having like a police informant. It's like they're on the inside, so they can get away with this sort of stuff. You know.
I do sympathize with this guy having money pulled out of your pay for things that you have no interest in. Like a job I had something called a social club fee that was taken out of my pay every week, and it was like the only social thing we did was a Christmas party at the end. So like, you can't call that a club if it's a Christmas party that every other workplace does anyway. And why are we having to pay for it? It kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, chaps your ass a little bit. But I think I'm in a workplace that actually does have a social committee too. And like, it's one of those things that's like, it's $2.50 out of your pay every week. And I think half is like paid by you, half is supplemented by the work. And it does mean that you can do those sort of things like, we have like things like morning teas and stuff like that. But now with COVID, there's obviously no opportunity to have morning teas because we can't all gather into one space. So their social committee has had to adapt. And now what they've done is like in the last couple of weeks, they've made like sort of care packages, like plastic containers filled with stuff for each of the departments. So you take the care package over and you bust it open and you have like, you might have like some, a bunch of cakes and stuff or some little snacks or some chocolates and things like that. And anything that's single serving that you can sort of divvy off to the rest of the team.
That sounds like a pretty dope sort of supplement to the actual social club thing. I feel like the social sort of club payment is okay if the company that you work for is like sort of a charity or something that doesn't earn enough money, but it's like it's a service to society, like a school or hospital, something like that. Where they're not making money. But I work for a company that doesn't do it. Like they don't take money out of our paycheck. But if my company that I work for did start doing that, I'd be like, what the fuck? You guys make ham over fist money and you can't like, like spare a little change for our parties or our this. Granted, my work's great. I can't complain about my work. But I'm just saying as an example, like I would be pretty annoyed by it. And I would be annoyed by this guy. Like, I don't want your stupid beers and pizza on a Friday night. Just don't take the money out.
I think the thing about you, Marcus, is you're a workplace full of accountants and there's no slipping dollars and cents by accountants. They know exactly what the company's earning because they balance the books.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. In my case, when it was happening, it was a retail job. And I found it annoying because like I knew how much they were paying costs for the stock and how much they were marking it up. And it's like, this is highway robbery. So as if you need our money to host a Christmas party.
That's a very, very good point. So what do you think with 23 gifts, what can they possibly do to get out of this sort of stuff on a Friday night when he wants to be with his family? What can he do?
I feel like there's no way out of it. Like it seems like it's embedded in the culture of the business that it's a fucking shithole place. You're not going to be able to change it. No, look, I say shithole place, but it's just a place that you don't want to work. I'm sure there's some employees there that love it. But I'm sure that if you said, I'm just not going to attend these parties, you're still going to be paying for it out of your pocket So if I was in his position, I'd be looking for a new place of work.
It's like the workplaces like Google and the startup tech companies where they do provide a lot of stuff. Like Google is like, they've got cafeterias, you can get whatever food you want. They can basically provide you with whatever you need. And people will be like, this is amazing. They give you everything, but they also expect, I think, you to be a little bit more sort of like work is life in a way. Like they've got that like, well, why would you need to leave when you've got a sleep pod right here? You can sleep for 5 hours and then continue working or something.
I know what you mean. I get that impression sometimes from people who are like really devout, like Apple workers and stuff. Like it almost has a cultish feel to it. They're all in the same outfit and like it's a work outfit, but just the way they talk about the company sometimes it's like, take it easy. Like this is just a smartphone. It's not like just, revolutionizing the world or anything.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Apple. However, I work for a company that's very similar to this. It's a tech company. It's a company like this, where they actually give all the benefits. And I can't say it's any further from the truth than that. Like they actually tell us to go home plenty of times. They don't want us to sleep there. They don't want us to live there. They'll give us all these benefits, but their reasoning is a happy worker means they're happy to be there. Yeah, so if they're working those extra hours, like, look, granted, we don't want them to work those extra hours, but if they are, they're actually doing it because they want to, not because they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
in this situation, like Marcus, you said the guy should probably look for a new job, and that's probably for the best if he hates everybody at his job as much as he says he does. I think even if you like your job, it's not going to be enough to keep you around. But surely, like the Friday night thing is not mandatory because, like, even me, like when I was going into the office. I mean, I don't have kids, but on a Friday night after a long day at work, like sometimes going to after work drinks is not what I want to do. I just want to go home and spend time with my partner and, just take it easy. So I completely get why this guy is frustrated. I think he should just stop going. In the meantime, start looking for a new job. That's probably all he can really do.
Yeah, you're right. There are two issues. He doesn't like the people at the workplace and he doesn't like what they do on a Friday night. So it's like, it sounds like even if they didn't have this Friday night thing, he still would be unhappy. So I think you should sort of like, look, you've got two issues here. If you eliminate one issue, you've still got the other. So maybe eliminate the whole issue.
I was just going to say, yeah, exactly. I think you don't like the workplace. It doesn't matter what the Friday night thing is. It sounds like you don't like the workplace in and of itself. So I think it's time to find a new job, man.
Didn't he like refer in his email multiple times that calling them all assholes and stuff? So he's like, the problem is clear.
Yeah.
Maybe he says things like assholes, bunch of cringy fuckers. He did have a lot of negative things to say about them. So
maybe he's the jerk here. But that being said, maybe you need to find a new place that you don't feel like that. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. Let's leave that there for 23 gifts. Now it's Marcus's turn to bring
Yeah. My surprise. So I have had a few birthdays recently where my partner loves to give me surprises, and one of the surprises that she gave me was so one day she's just like, I'm not telling you where we're going. I'm not telling you where you're going, and she just let me guess. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and guess what surprise you've given me. And she goes, oh, it's on your side of town. I said, oh, it must be the zoo that's close by. You're taking me to the zoo. She's like, why the fuck would I take you to a zoo for your birthday? You're fucking 27 years old. I'm like, it's the fucking zoo. I know it is. You're taking me to the zoo. There's nothing good on this side of town besides the zoo. Turns out she's like, all right, jump in the car, we'll drive. And as we're driving up, we actually drive right to the zoo. And I thought, I knew it. I've guessed the surprise. It was the zoo. Turns out it was the mansion next door to the zoo where I was pampered, had a spa day, a massage. It was like I was treated like a king at this mansion. And I was like, I still wish it was the zoo. But the mansion was a much better surprise.
Marcus is like, forget being treated like a king. I want to see the king of the jungle. That's what I'm interested in.
He's just like looking at the window of the mansion, looking at the giraffes, being like, I want what they have.
I want those leaves.
You know what's funny, Marcus? Like, I feel like every time I have like if it's a surprise, like what we're going to do something, it's a surprise. My mind always goes to rock climbing for some reason. Not that I've ever shown any interest in rock climbing, but I feel like it's become sort of a meme in itself to be like, as soon as it's like, we're going to do something, it's a surprise. I'm like, is it rock climbing? Because there's a rock climbing place in the city. But I've never ever gone. I've never ever shown interest that I want to go, besides the fact that it's always my guess.
You know the best part is, like, I say that to my partner all the time. Like, she goes, it's a surprise. I'm like, you're taking me to the zoo. Now it's a joke. Now it's a meme.
Yeah.
But even if she took me to the zoo at this point, I'd be like, oh, this is disappointing. Like it's a zoo.
I didn't want the zoo. It stinks.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you a fan of the zoo? Why? What is like?
It's funny. We went to the zoo at night one time, and we went and saw these like all these animals. And I'm like, hey, it's a zoo. I'm like,
It was okay.
It's not that exciting. I mean, every other surprise she's ever given me has been 100 times better. I don't know why I keep racing to the zoo.
Marcus,
Anyway.
stop poo-pooing the zoo, okay? Don't poo-poo the zoo.
All right. Hey, then the zoo is great. I love the zoo, but it's not surprise worthy. Anyway,
Yeah.
the mansion writes in, my roommate's girlfriend is always here, and she's mad at me for trying to limit it. How do I help her understand that I'm not comfortable with it? So my roommate got herself a new girlfriend. Before moving in, we went over a list of house rules that I have, and then